Penicillin was the result of a small mistake left by an aspiring scientist that led to the greatest turning point in medical history. The discovery of this antibiotic led to the saving of millions of precious lives, human or not. And the name of the scientist was Alexander Fleming. The technology and advancements from the time before penicillin were incomparable to the modern technologies and treatments we have today. This is given credit to penicillin, which cured the millions of people dying from the smallest of cuts and infectious diseases. Before penicillin, a minute amount of information was known about bacteria and how to heal or even prevent infection. During World War I, many soldiers would come back from the battlefields with severe wounds that were often infected. These soldiers would then be admitted to hospitals and took up precious beds for long periods of time. This means that other people cannot have the opportunities to meet a doctor and receive treatment. This made infections the #1 cause of death in the world. Alexander Fleming was born on August 6, 1881 in Darvel, Scotland. He had 3 siblings and 4 half-siblings that were born from his dad's first marriage. He did exceedingly well in school and aimed to become a doctor. Fleming was a bright student that pursued medicine in college. He earned a master's degree in medicine with honors from St. Mary's Medical School in 1908. Early in Fleming's medical life, he realized he was interested in science, so instead of becoming a doctor, he chose to become a scientist. Alexander Fleming married Sarah Fleming in 1915 and had a child named Robert. Unfortunately, his spouse died soon after. He married his second wife, Amalia Fleming, on April 9, 1953. Alexander Fleming was researching microbes in 1921 when he was hired by Sir Almroth Wright at his lab in St. Mary's Hospital. Alexander was experimenting with many tools, including a petri dish full of bacteria. One day, he left his petri dish and went on vacation. On that very day, the janitor forgot to clean up his lab and left the petri dish out. This is a mistake that could have gotten him fired, but when he came back from vacation, he saw mold surrounding the bacteria. He found out that the mold was blocking the bacteria from growing. Alexander knew that if this worked on a petri dish, it could work in human bodies. He realized that what he discovered could stop bacteria from growing in your body. This was the start of penicillin. Alexander Fleming tried to help penicillin progress right after the discovery. Soon after penicillin was discovered, Alexander Fleming set up a meeting with the Medical Research Club, but they showed little to no interest in penicillin. After the meeting, Alexander Fleming continued his research on penicillin alone. Later, he hired many chemists, who were all experts in the field, to purify penicillin from the mold. But as they all failed, Professor Harold Raystrick declared that purifying penicillin was impossible, so Fleming gave up on his project. 1937, Howard Florey and Ernst Chain investigated Alexander Fleming's project while researching microorganisms. They assembled a team in hopes of completing Fleming's project. But there were many fights between senior scientists on how to carry out the experiment. The mix of the arguments and the scientific challenge of purifying penicillin turned the project into a hard challenge. The members of Florey and Chain's team, being experts, overcame this challenge, and after 3 years of trying, they created a tedious and efficient process that could produce pure penicillin. In 1940, the team decided to start animal trials. They had 8 mice infected by a deadly bacterium, and 4 of them were injected with penicillin. The 4 mice survived, and the experiment gained much interest. The impact of penicillin was tremendous, but its start was initially slow. It took decades for people to realize its medical value. On February 12, 1941, Albert Alexander became the first recipient of penicillin. The test was a tremendous success. He made a quick recovery after he was injected with penicillin. Around the time of World War II, penicillin was beginning to get mass-produced. This was thanks to several scientists, including Howard Florey, Ernst Boris Chain, and Norman Heatley, who strategized ways to mass-produce it. In March of 1944, penicillin was approved by the FDA. On March 1, 1944, Pfizer produced the first commercial for large-scale production of penicillin. On March 15, 1945, penicillin was readily available in pharmacies for public use in the US, but only came to British pharmacies in June 1, 1946. The effect of penicillin took place, and hundreds of thousands of soldiers owe their lives to this life-saving antibiotic. Penicillin revolutionized medicine since it was the first antibiotic that could treat such a large variety of bacterial infections. It opened doors for other antibiotics and started the beginning of the antibiotic era. Penicillin reduced mortality rates and extended lifespans of the average human. The abundance and availability of penicillin made it inexpensive and allowed people to get it and not have such an economical burden. Even today, penicillin is used in many instances. Penicillin is used for throat infections, syphilis, and many other bacterial infections. Since penicillin was a grand success, Alexander Fleming was handed a Nobel Peace Prize. Penicillin can cure a variety of different infections, and because of this, many people with different issues can rely on penicillin. Penicillin today is the most used antibiotic in the world. What was treatment like with penicillin?
Penicillin was mostly used for when we had a fever or whenever we need antibiotic.
Okay. How fast did you cure with penicillin?
It was extremely fast because when I didn't use penicillin, my fever didn't go for a week or so, and I have to stay out from school for more than a week. But since I started taking penicillin, like 1 or 2 days, I'm good to go.
How much of a toll did it take on your body?
I didn't feel any allergies or anything of such kind, which people were scared of. But it was good to me because there was always a test injection available. If you're not allergic to that, then penicillin is good for you.
How is penicillin different from other medications? How is it better or worse?
It's better, it's fast, it helps you a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Concluding our examination of the history and analysis of penicillin, we bear witness to the tremendous impact left by penicillin. The fortuitous stumble upon this drug not only resulted in the millions of lives saved, but also paved the way for other antibiotics. The creation of penicillin was arguably the largest turning point of medical advancements in biological history. As we conclude our exploration into the triumphs experienced by the other pioneers who brought forward penicillin, it becomes clear how important penicillin is to the modern world. The story it tells marks an advancement in medicine and stands as a testament to human curiosity and unexpected fortune. As we conclude this documentary, it is important to carry forward the invaluable lessons learned from an accidental discovery in an unsupervised laboratory evolves into salvation for millions.
Thank you, Penicillin.